Hello everyone and welcome to Mind Your Venture. Today I'm going to be covering, as always, my most recent purchase. And I wanted to touch base a little bit on how things are looking in the silver market and some of the things that I've been hearing online with some of the places that I like to go to get my information. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is my most recent purchase. I finally got a Samoan coin here, and it's got a really cool back to it. So really nice coin there. I picked up another 2-ounce round. Which was pretty cool. And I got a really nice coin here. This is a Phoenix. So really nice there. So I had a little bit of money left over out of what I spent. So I went ahead and picked this up. Now, it really appears like this one has been cleaned. So it's a 1944, but you can see along here how it looks like it's been polished out and not its natural shine. So, but I got this not because it was shiny and nice, but I got this because it was less than $1 over spot for the silver content that was in it. As you all know, I really try to keep my silver purchases at a certain rate, but I've been hearing some rumblings in the silver world out there about some batteries that can do a lot better than the lithium ones that they've been recently using. And we may see an increase on the value of silver coming up really soon. Now, I know early last year, silver was down $22 an ounce. We're a year later, year and a half later from that, and it's been hovering over $30 for quite some time. There was a small dip there for a moment, but it could go either way, and nobody really knows what's going on. But I'm always of the opinion and always have based my purchases off long-term purchases for silver. So I don't look at necessarily what it's doing now, what it's going to do next week, what it's going to do over time. I am interested in it, and I do watch a lot of videos out there where I can get that information just to see where silver is and what it's doing and what the market is saying that it's going to do. There's been ups and downs over many years, over the last 20 years, lots of ups and downs with silver, and for many reasons and many purposes. Sometimes there's not enough getting mined and the demand outweighs it. Sometimes they don't make certain coins and then they'll make certain coins, and like recently, tariffs, all of these things play an effect on what silver is going to be sold for, what they're using it for, because not only is it a precious metal, but it is also used in making things like batteries and other electronics for aircraft and things like that. So it has multiple purposes and makes it a little bit different than gold. Gold does have some use where they do use it in some electronics, but not quite as much as silver. Gold is still looked at as the majority of its worth is its rarity and being a precious metal. In that realm and in that way of looking at things, it's interesting to hear what people say about silver, and I've seen people online talk about how it's going to increase a lot and decrease a lot. And sometimes when I talk about this on my channel, I get a lot of people that give me negative comments or give me a lot of thumbs down on videos when I'm trying to explain what silver is doing. It's nobody can really tell what it's going to do from day to day. I do on my channel at times talk about when it drops dramatically, because I want to encourage people to continue stacking no matter if it drops or if it increases greatly. So on big spikes, I also do talk about it because it is exciting when silver goes up, because if you're doing it as a savings account like I do, it's good to see the increase when it comes. But I also don't get discouraged when it drops down to $22 or $18 or $15. I always encourage people to continue to spend a certain amount of money every single week purchasing their silver, because over time, it's going to give you a good return and it's a great savings account. And if you ever do need it, there's people out there that use it as an emergency fund. I do not use it as an emergency fund, but I do not see any problem with doing so, especially when you can save money that way. There are a lot of people out there that have a hard time saving money. If they have it, they spend it. And for those people, when they go out and they purchase silver to put it in their stack because they are trying to save some silver and they're going to use it as an emergency fund, they'll take it when the time comes and they'll go sell this off to get whatever they need, to fix their car, to get tires put on their car, to purchase a car, even if you can save enough of it and the time is right for you to do so. But there's also people out there that trade their silver in for gold when the ratio gets in the right place. So currently the ratio is nearly 100 ounces of silver that it's going to take you to be able to turn it in for 1 ounce of gold. So that is a lot of silver. So, and if you're one of those people that do that, I'd be interested to hear, if you're a type of person that does that continually, I'd be interested to hear from you how you've fared on that in real time. So for instance, I went and sold the last high run for silver when it got to nearly 35. I did sell one of my kilo bars and then ended up buying some silver, especially I went and got a bunch of 90% and stuff with it once the market had bit, and it worked out really well for me to do so. And I wanted to get some smaller denominations instead of having those larger portions as well. So to put it in perspective, this is 1 ounce of gold. So you can see that it's not much bigger than this here. So this is a Morgan silver dollar, and you can see it's about the same diameter as the gold, right? And it is not very thick either. So you can see side by side there, they're about the same. So 1 ounce being a whole lot of silver to get this, 100 ounces, which is a lot. But if the ratio is correct, and you can get the ratio depending on what you spent for your purchases, when the gold silver ratio gets to a certain point, one way or another, it's always good to try to get your money to work for you if you can. So if you've been buying silver at $22 and it gets up to where it is 70 to 1, where you can take 70 ounces of your silver that you purchased and buy an ounce of gold, that is a pretty good scenario for you, especially if gold continues to rise. On the other hand, when the gold silver ratio is over $100, I've heard people say that they've traded in some of their gold to purchase silver with that, because if silver does take off, they're going to get a really good return on that. But I'd be very interested to see what people have done with that. Now, the gold silver ratio I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to unless I get to a certain portion of silver. So if I get to a certain amount, I have goals for how much I want for silver and how much I want for gold. But gold is so far out of the realm of purchasing that it takes a lot of silver to get there. And my goal for silver was quite high. And anything over that certain amount that I get, it does take a long time to get enough of it to trade it in for a full ounce. Now, I have thought recently of just getting 1/4 ounces of gold, or maybe even 1/10 ounces, but the over amount that you have to pay for the premium on those smaller fractional pieces of gold can get quite high. So I also heard somebody talking about buying the goldback bills, and I did look into that a little bit, but for what they're selling them for, you're paying nearly almost twice as much for the gold content that's in there than what it's worth. Now, it does get you into gold and you get some, but for you to get your money back on that, I don't see it as a very good investment. But people can do what they want to do, and I do encourage people to save their money. And if that's the way you do it, good luck to you trying to sell those or to be able to use those later on. So gold does have a value to it, but when you're paying for almost 70% over what it's worth for each little piece that you're buying, I just don't see how that's good. And I would definitely not encourage anybody to do that. Now, I am not a financial advisor, but I do care about people and what they do with their money. And I don't think that is a wise decision to make. But if that's what you do, do what you want to do. You're going to do it anyway. That's what I've been told in a lot of aspects of my life when I want to go and do something. And sometimes it works out good for me, and other times it doesn't work out good at all. And I wish I would have listened to the person telling me, don't do that. But if that's what you want to do, you're going to do it anyway, right? And I've done it anyway and end up getting burned at a few places in my life. So it's up to you what you want to do with your money. I just encourage you every single week to try to save a portion of your money, right? So as always, until next time, keep on stacking, onward and upward.
There once was a man that stacked silver, so he called himself an investor. But the silver he had was not enough, so he stacked it more and more. Soon then the increase comes, shiny, glittery, and in large sums. Now when the stacking's done, he loved it more and more.